and Radeon RX 7600 review. The Radeon RX 7600 is positioned as a high-end 1080p gaming solution by AMD, and its price point distinguishes it from the flagship Radeon RX 7900 XTX. In this segment of the market, the Radeon RX 7600 faces significant competition, not to mention the upcoming release of the GeForce RTX 4060 in the summer. However, at present, it stands out with its exceptional 1080p performance and reasonable price, arguably making it the top choice for modern 1080p gaming. As a result, it has earned our Editor's Choice Award. Before starting, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. So, let's start. Verdict: finally, a 1080p workhorse value card. If you solely focus on the test results and performance numbers in isolation, you might form a somewhat negative impression of the Radeon RX 7600 based on this review. Its performance is not groundbreaking, and in many respects, it doesn't distinguish itself from several other cards already available in the market. However, it's important to approach the evaluation of this card in 2023 with the broader context of the graphics card landscape and pricing trends. The Radeon RX 7600 is positioned as a mid-range mainstream graphics card, specifically targeting 1080p gaming at a price point of $269. It was not intended to outperform top-tier options. Instead, its purpose is to deliver an enjoyable gaming experience at 1080, while remaining competitively priced and affordable. And it accomplishes precisely that. Power consumption. To measure the power consumption of our gaming-tested PC, we employ a kilowatt meter, which allows us to evaluate the overall system power draw. Throughout our tests, the sole component that varies is the graphics card, enabling us to observe the differences and gain a rough estimation of its relative power consumption. This methodology provides us with valuable insights into how the graphics card performs in terms of power efficiency compared to other tested cards. Thermal tests. The performance of AMD's Radeon RX 7600 in power consumption tests is rather mixed. In the Guardians of the Galaxy benchmark, its power consumption was one of the lowest we have recorded. However, this result could be attributed to potential optimization issues in the game or the card not operating at its maximum potential, which might explain its underwhelming performance in that particular test. On the other hand, its power consumption in Firmark was decent, although it notably exceeds that of the RX 6600 XT and is slightly higher than the faster RTX 4060 Ti. Legacy game tests. The performance of graphics cards in older games is heavily influenced by the optimization of the card's drivers for specific games. As a result, it is not uncommon for newer cards to exhibit lower performance compared to their older counterparts. This trend is often observed, with older RTX 30 series cards outperforming their successors from the RTX 40 series. While AMD's Radeon 7900 XT and XTX managed to fare better in this aspect, the Radeon RX 7600 does not perform as well in older games. AAA games testing. The Radeon RX 7600 exhibits a clear performance advantage over the RTX 3060 in Total War: 3 Kingdoms of 1080p resolution, and it also demonstrates noticeable improvements at 2K and 4K resolutions. Additionally, it surpasses the AMD Radeon RX 6600 XT, although it falls short of competing with the RTX 3070, RTX 4060 Ti, or RX 6700 XT. Similar trends are observed in games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Far Cry 5, where the Radeon RX 7600 showcases comparable results. DLSS/FSR testing. Enabling FSR 1.0 and DLSS 2.0 provided some improvement for the Radeon RX 7600. This resulted in a close competition between the Radeon RX 7600 and the Radeon RX 6700 XT, with both cards exhibiting similar performance. Notably, both cards outperformed the RTX 3060 in this scenario. On the other hand, enabling FSR2 had a slight negative impact on performance, but delivered better image quality in return. Among the test results, the 4K performance stood out as one of the few instances where the RTX 4060 Ti and the Radeon RX 7600 were closely matched. Both cards were constrained by their memory bandwidth limitations in this scenario. However, enabling FSR or DLSS proved beneficial for improving performance for both cards. This enhancement enabled the RTX 4060 Ti to achieve significantly faster speeds at 1440p resolution. Nonetheless, even at 4K resolution, the Radeon RX 7600 managed to remain competitive and closely match the RTX 4060 Ti. Ray tracing. The significance of ray tracing performance is increasingly apparent, making the performance of the Radeon RX 7600 in these games particularly noteworthy. AMD has made efforts to enhance the ray tracing capabilities of its previous generation cards, and the improvements are evident. However, it is undeniable that NVIDIA generally holds an advantage in this aspect. In the case of F122, without SSR or DLSS enabled, the Radeon RX 7600 managed to surpass the Radeon RX 6700 XT in performance at both 1080 and 1440p resolutions. However, at 4K resolution, it fell behind, likely due to the significantly lower memory bandwidth of the RX 7600 compared to the RX 6700 XT. Synthetic tests. While synthetic tests provide valuable information about a graphics card's maximum capabilities in different scenarios, it's essential to interpret them cautiously as they may not always reflect real-world performance accurately. When examining the 3D Mark scores for the Radeon RX 7600, the results align with our expectations, placing it between the AMD Radeon RX 6600 XT and the RX 6700 XT. Additionally, it demonstrated a relatively close performance to the RTX 3060 in this regard. However, the RX 7600 exhibited a significant lead over other cards in Firmark, showcasing superior performance in that specific benchmark. Test setup and competition. We conducted all tests on the AMD Radeon RX 7600 using our dedicated 2022 GPU testbed. This testbed comprises an Intel Core i9-12900K processor installed on an Asus ROG Maximus C690 Hero motherboard. To ensure efficient cooling, a Corsair Hydro Series H100X water cooler is utilized. The processor operates at its stock clocks, and we employed a Corsair Vengeance RAM 32GB memory kit, clocked at 5600 mAh. All hail the Radeon 7000 monolith. During the initial release of the Radeon RX 7900 XTX and RX 7900 XT by AMD, we extensively discussed the RDNA 3 architecture and the advantages of the chiplet design implemented in those cards. For a more in-depth understanding of the RDNA 3 architecture, we suggest referring to the articles mentioned above. However, it is worth noting that the Radeon RX 7600 exhibits more differences from the flagship model than what is typically observed. This is it for today's video. What do you think of our video? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. Thanks for watching.